And welcome to the East Coast where it is raining. From what I can tell, there was a storm that was only supposed to give a little bit of rain, but it's kind of stuck over this area. So they're predicting an inch today. I'm holding and waiting and seeing what's going on. Well, this is damn annoying at the moment because I just got out here and I want to be hiking, but it's been coming down pretty hard. I went out and dug a cat hole during one of the lighter bits, but now there's a big long storm train hitting, so at least for the moment I'm gonna hold. I have hiked in a lot of rain, but past a certain level it just goes through your gear. Everything gets soaked and then you got to deal with that. If I had a hotel within range, I might try and just like smash through the middle of it, but Denton's 25 miles plus and that might be a big ask. And I don't want to get too wet and cold where I don't have the option of stopping and getting back in the tent. That was one of the kind of close calls, humbling experiences on the Grand Enchantment Trail last year. Still tent bound. Almost been ready to get moving a couple of times, only to have the rain kick up again. If I go out in this, it's just going to soak through everything if I'm out for very long, so I'm going to wait for it to tail off as much as I hate sitting still. So while I was sitting here waiting out the rain, I've been collecting rainwater. That's actually what I made coffee out of, since that's all I have, and I wasn't sure if I was going to get out of here today. That's how much water's coming down. I've been catching it off the fly. Unfortunately, it tends to have a little bit of a taste, so it's not my favorite way to make coffee. 2 o'clock, rain's not stopping anytime soon, but it's at least decreased a little bit. It was filling up my cooking pot there in just a couple hours, so I think the weather was predicting 1.6 inches or so. As nice as it is to be in this secure spot, I don't have water or anything other than the rainwater I collected off the fly, so I'm gonna get moving, see if I can't get at least 10 miles or so today. Unfortunately, once I leave this little section, it's looking like it's gonna be harder to come across secure camping, but we shall see. So as usual, I picked an area that didn't have any houses around, public land, and I wasn't near any sort of road access. Chances are, if anybody ran across me, wouldn't be the end of the world, but better safe than sorry is generally how I treat that. As an example, I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that. And as always, I'm really paranoid about setting up on low points or flat points because of stuff like that. Oh, the joys of trying to hike in the rain and keep my camera lens from fogging. The good news is if I can make it through tonight, camera, it should be better tomorrow. It's looking like it's going to clear for a couple of days at least, which will at least get me through when Jen is here. This is going to set me back a little bit. I mean, I left at 2 o'clock when my plan had been 7 a.m., but that's part of being out in the wild. As I've been posting about my start, I'm now in contact or know about a handful of other people that are out here. One person looks like they had some local put them up for the night. Oh, Taters is going to be so happy. I'm never super comfortable when I'm stealth camping for obvious reasons, so I was even using headphones when I was watching a TV show last night, and I'm careful with my light. Easier to do when I'm solo. It's when Jen is with me, it's a little harder to keep 2 people quiet versus 1. I can get away from all the towns and farms though. Stuff like this is pretty much ideal as far as a camp. At least the wind's not going. It's in the high 40s right now, and thermal issues can be a real pain. I had a closer than I'd like call when I was on the Grand Enchantment in New Mexico earlier last year, where basically I was racing a thunderstorm. It ended up pouring. I had to get off a high point, and then once I got down, I needed to get into town, and I was trying to hitch for over an hour. Soaking wet, scruffy bearded men in a downpour don't get picked up real quick. And by the time this nice older gentleman picked me up and gave me a ride into Mountain Air, I was so cold I was having trouble signing the credit card receipt when I checked into the hotel room. Promptly got in the tub and just sat there in hot water for a good long while. If I had a hotel option in, 15 miles or so, I probably would have just gone out this morning and relied on banging through and drying my gear out once I was in a hotel. But when I was on the AT and such, there was no drying gear out. Humidity was too much, so I'm a little more cautious as far as getting my layers too wet. Not to mention, you know how much it really sucks to wake up in the morning and put on everything that is soaking wet? I usually end up sleeping in it because then at least it's warm and you dry it out a little bit. So I think I have about 5 hours until sundown. I'm just gonna see how things go. Theoretically, sometime around 6, this tails off and the storm is done. But who knows? When I was looking at the forecast before I left, this storm was not supposed to be as severe as it has been. And here you have the legal camping for this area. Well, at least somebody's enjoying themselves out here today. I did actually just have some lady stop and ask if I needed a ride. In general, the vibe I've been getting out here hasn't been super welcoming. Some people, but like when I was in the brewery the other day, I don't know what it is. Some areas, just like, oh, you look like you're doing something cool. Others, they're just hostile and suspicious. Okay, well, that lady is apparently a local trail angel, knew what I was doing. She said that there's a church up ahead and she has a property a little past that, and she's happy to let me stay on it. Kind of wanted to go further, but quite frankly, with how crummy conditions are out here, if I've got secure camping and a water fill up, I think I should probably take that. It's already 4:30, so it's not like I'm giving up a ton. And supposedly the weather's better tomorrow, and it'll help my feet adjust a little. I'm currently looking around their property. Kind of hard to find anything dry here at the moment. So I'm currently camped in somebody's backyard. As you can hear, the rain didn't stop when it was supposed to. And I'm just having a heck of a time with my rain gear. It let more water through than I would expect, considering I've had that jacket before, but that's rain gear for you. I had a couple of plans for where I was going to end up spending the night, but this is nicer than any of those would have worked out. It's really hard. All the bunches of trees and things are all flooded. Everything's flooded. Heck, the road was flooded for a while there. These nice folks were kind enough to let me shower in their outbuilding, so I was able to get warm again. Used up all the hot water, and I'm trying to cook because I'm a little hungry. Had a really hard time stopping, so I didn't eat much after I left the tent. Well, that's a good sign. At least the sun's close to coming out. Home sweet home for the night.